Okay, hey Jim, this is just me, just quickly showing you, and if you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just quickly, I've made this cylinder, and, right, I made this cylinder, and it's 320 meters across, and 20 meters high, and it's facing, let me turn this back face on so you can see. It's invisible from the outside, and it's visible. I feel like I'm whistling like I've got dentures here, but that's not important anyway. It's facing inwards, so it should be getting the correct lighting. And it's not very high detail. Like the the poly count is quite low. It says there, 32 faces. So, I mean, it's pretty low. I mean, that's not important. What's important is that, yeah, they're all facing inwards, so they'll get lit correctly using like Unity lights. And more importantly than that, what I found inside the folder, because I'm not sure this is the one you're using. I don't think this is the one you're using. Hopefully not, anyway, because this texture is not a power of 2. It's 5,760 by 288, and look, it says there. I mean, that uses 142 megabytes of texture memory, and I might be wrong, like, because I'm not 100%, I'm not like a million% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure, right, that even though you're just using this strip here, even though you're just using this thing here, and that's all that's being rendered, all of this stuff here is getting loaded into memory, even though it's blank. So it's basically wasted texture memory, and that's why you've made it huge. That's why you've made it 5,000 across, clearly, because you want to keep some of this detail. But even still, you have kept, and I mean, it's not terrible. I'm not saying it's terrible. It's pretty good, in fact, considering, like, I mean, it's as good as it's going to get unless you bump that up even higher. But what you could do is what I'm doing here is, instead of doing like this, having it stretched across like this, you cut this up into the 4 things. And when I say you, I mean, I'm happy to do this, right? I'm not suggesting you do this. I'm saying I can do this if you want, but like, I'll just explain. So you cut it up into the 4, and then we put this one at the top, this one on layer 2, this one on the 3rd row, and this one would go down the bottom. And then using the UVs here, I've shown you a more like a more blueprinty style kind of thing here. So then I've drawn on here, this would be the top row, and this would match up there, and that would be the 2nd row, and then it matches up because I've laid out the UVs here. Now obviously I fucked this up a little bit because this is upside down, this, and I've been painting it into this 3D window here. So like, yeah, I mean, if I was to now try and bring this into Unity or whatever, I'd have to have this bit upside down, but in fact I'll just spin this round, and then, oh no, it says A the wrong way around there, so we'll just fucking fix that. Just go blah. And I will type in, I will draw in A again, and now it's the correct way around, right? And so I'd have to lay it out properly like that, but as you can see, like, yeah, it would, and it will look better. Like, the picture will have less pixelation on it, because this is like, what is this? This is only 1024 by 1024. So if this was a 4K image, and again, I'm still kind of wasting a lot of space here, but it's better that it's 1024 by 1024 than 2048 by 1024. I think if they are not the same power of 2, it is more performance intensive. And again, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure you want to keep them squared, because yeah, it's just a fucking computer thing. I'm nerdy, right, to the point where I know some like super niche nerdy shit, but I don't know why that is. I don't know why it's better to have 1020. It's better to have 2K by 2K than have 4K by 1K. 2K by 2K, just it's faster for the computer to process because it knows they're both equal powers of 2 and blah 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 blah. Something about computers, it likes that more. It's better for the graphics card and stuff. And on lower end hardware like the VR, I think that sort of performance consideration will be just miles better for your VR than having what you currently have, which is this image where it's 5,000 by 200. And because I mean, the problems there are 5,760 is not a power of 2 number, 2,880 is not a power of 2 number, and they're both different. So there's multiple problems with that, which will cause you performance. But again, I don't really know a 1,000,000% that this is going to yield you performance benefits. What it will do is it's not going to cause you performance drawback to have it as a squared 4K image. It's not going to cause you more performance, and what it is going to give you 1,000% right is if you have got a high quality panorama image, because you're instead dividing it up into 4 sections like I'm showing you here, you will get a higher quality. You'll have less of this pixelation that is visible. You know what I mean? Like when we go out to here, you can see. So let's say that you're standing here and you've got the camera up here and you look up, you can sort of see like, I don't know, pixelation. Like, actually doesn't look, again, now I say this, I'm like, it doesn't even look that bad, to be honest. I mean, I don't think, but it's a bit blurry. I mean, so if you have a more higher quality image and it's not as blurry as this, then when you divide it up, it'll be less blurry. Hopefully you get what I'm trying to say here, like, because you're stretching it out and you're not limited by the length of the image, and you've divided it into 4, it'll be less blurry. I hope that makes some sense, mate. Like, anyway, I'll just shut the fuck up.